Today on Focus on Sports, Fresno State baseball gets the brooms out over the weekend against Washington State. Major plays that help the Dogs clean house.
And Fresno Christian boys tennis is looking for their third straight championship. See how the team is preparing for a potential three-peat.
Plus, the 2025 NFL Draft is in the books. Which Bulldogs got a call from the big league? Focus on Sports starts now. Welcome back to Fresno State Focus on Sports. I'm Brian Welch.
And I'm Jarrett Smith. We hope you all had a great week back from spring break.
We have a great show for you as we start things off with the Diamond Dogs. The Fresno State baseball team has 22 wins this season. Over the weekend, the Diamond Dogs swept Washington State at home. The series started on Friday when Jack Anchor took to the mound for the Dogs, came through with a 6-3 win while throwing for 8 innings and had pitched over 100 times. He says he's focusing on keeping the momentum going into his next start.
You know what? Just doing the work that you got to do every week, right? You don't treat any start different. If you prepare correctly and you trust the work you've put in all week, it should be all right.
On Saturday, the Dogs took an 8-0 win. Aiden Cramarosa had a great outing on the mound, going 8 innings strong and struck out 11 Cougars. Yesterday, the Dogs ended the series with an 11-1 blowout win over Washington State. Just today, Aiden Cramarosa has been selected as the Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Week. Fresno State is on the road this week, taking on Pacific and Nevada. And Jarrett, we've talked about this throughout the whole entire semester. Another great weekend for Fresno State on the diamond.
Yeah, I mean, we got to appreciate it because zooming out and just looking at Fresno State athletics this year, at least on the men's side, football, disappointment. Basketball, we're just going to leave that there. We don't even want to talk about that. But baseball has given us something to cheer about, and it's really refreshing.
And you see how this team's been able to play. As Aiden Cramarosa, Jack Anchor, great starters on the hill for Fresno State. The offense is looking really strong as well. Murph Gray had a grand slam yesterday, but also these last 3 series of conference, 2 of those series are on the road in elevation, and you play baseball differently up in elevation, so Fresno State has to pitch well and also have timely hitting, which they had a lot of against Washington State. Yeah,
going back to Murph Gray, I just don't get tired of seeing that kid hit bombs. I remember watching him freshman year hit one over the scoreboard. Just so majestic, and he's so much fun to watch. So much fun. Switching to softball, Fresno State softball is heading to the postseason after winning the series against Colorado State in their conference finale over the weekend. The Lady Dogs played a doubleheader on Saturday. The first game ended in a loss 7-0, but they took the next 2 thanks to some excellent pitching. Junior Soraya Neese pitched 2 complete games on the weekend. In Game 2, the Bulldogs recorded their second most hits of the season with 13. The Dogs won the Game 2 8-3. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we are back. Now, talking about softball, Fresno State softball is headed into the postseason after winning the series against Colorado State in their conference finale over the weekend. The Lady Dogs played a doubleheader on Saturday. The first game ended in a loss 7-0, but they took game 2 thanks to some excellent pitching. Junior Soraya Neese pitched 2 complete games on the weekend. In game 2, the Bulldogs recorded their second most hits of the season with 13. The Dogs won game 2 8-3 to tie the series. Going into Sunday, the Dogs bats connected once again, getting 12 hits in the game. 4 players recorded multiple hits for a 10-2 run rule win. The Lady Bulldogs finished conference play 15-7. They're now turning their attention to LMU for a non-conference doubleheader on Wednesday. And it's the postseason for Fresno State water polo team. The Water Dogs took part in the Golden Coast Conference Championships in Los Angeles at LMU over the weekend. Fresno State started with a round 1 victory against Concordia 21-7 on Friday. Saturday, the Dogs took on Pacific, taking down the Tigers 19-12. After falling to LMU in the regular season, the Water Dogs had their rematch against the Lions in the championship game. The Lions took down the Water Dogs 14-12. The Water Dogs failed to grab their 5th straight Golden Coast Conference crown. Senior Brooke Ochoa made the all-tournament team. Fresno State finishes the season 14-8 overall.
Most athletes will tell you it's hard to win championships, but one high school team is looking to secure its 3rd CIF title, and this is how they're doing it. There is a team in Fresno that's looking for another championship. That is the Fresno Christian High School boys tennis team. The Eagles have won the last 2 section championships. The team fell in the 2022 section championship, and senior Jason Pimentel says the loss fired everybody up.
And it's motivated us ever since, from sophomore year, junior year, to not have that feeling again, for sure. Getting to the finals and losing badly is never fun. So we had that determination since freshman year when we lost, and we're keeping that all the way through to never have that feeling again.
Head coach of Fresno Christian, Robert Fauché, says that the dedication of the players has translated on the court this season.
Just the amount of players we have that are interested in playing on their own and going in off season, playing during the season. We've always had 2 or 3 really good players, but we just have a lot of them together on one team, so it's been special. And they're all homegrown kids. They're not kids we've gotten from transfers or exchange students that some schools have. These are all kids that have been in our program since day one.
It's always tough when you're being chased, not the chaser, as Fresno Christian High School is looking for their 3rd straight section title in 2025. Assistant coach Daniel Jessing says that the team will be memorable.
Like I said, it's a special group. We like to consider this probably the best team in school history on the boys' side, and a lot of that is because they're so self-motivated and they get out and do the work on their own.
Whatever happens this season, the Eagles will never forget this season. The Eagles are the #1 seed in Division III this season. They'll either face Tulare Union or Roosevelt on Thursday afternoon at home.
The 2025 NFL Draft is in the books, and no surprise here, Cam Ward went #1 as the league's top pick overall. Ward is now headed to the Music City as a Tennessee Titan. The Jacksonville Jaguars traded up and got Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado, 2-way player Travis Hunter. But in the biggest surprise of the draft, Shedeur Sanders went to the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, and the Las Vegas Raiders picked Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Closer to home, there were no Bulldogs who got a draft call over the weekend, but several players are headed to the NFL. Magdalena, Dean Clark, Tuasivi Namura, and Braylon Nelson all signed as an undrafted free agent. And also a shout out to former Focus member Abe Montano. He has an invite to the New York Giants rookie minicamp.
The NFL Draft is complete. There was a lot of crazy things that happened over the weekend in Green Bay. To break it all down, Vincent Camarillo is with Jackson Moore to discuss the draft. Vincent?
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Jackson, for joining us. We're going to jump straight into it because we had 4 Bulldogs get signed as undrafted free agents. How do you feel about the situations they're going into?
I think Dean Clark's probably in the best spot because the New York Jets, they went after him before the draft. They had the visit, and then they followed through. Some thought maybe they'd even pick him in the draft, but they followed through. They grabbed him as a free agent. I think he's in a really, really good spot. I think Brandon Nelson and Stevie Nomura as well, they're going to programs or franchises that haven't been too successful, so there's a lot of opportunities for grabs. And I mean, the most fun is going to see what Magdalena does with the Chiefs.
Exactly. And touching on Magdalena, he has the chance to be catching bombs for Patrick Mahomes if things go his way. How do you feel about his chances of making an impact in that system?
Yeah, it's one where there's going to be a crowded receiver room. There's going to be a lot going on, so he's got to make the team first. But as long as he's there, I mean, what better place could you be than Kansas City? They have a long list of receivers they usually roster, and they rotate throughout the year they go through. So as long as he can make the roster, I think he's going to get a chance, and he's going to make big plays with Mahomes if he's in there.
Absolutely. And how about the Chiefs with 3 players with Valley ties now, Xavier Worthy, Magdalena, and Nico Remigio? What kind of pride do you feel from that?
I mean, that's awesome. The spotlight is on the Chiefs, even though they were 1 win short of the Super Bowl. But you worry a little bit that maybe Nico Remigio and Magdalena might be kind of in the same role. So hopefully they don't compete with each other for a roster spot. But very neat to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to touch on it a little bit. Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round, going to a Browns team that has a pretty stacked quarterback room as it is. How'd you react to that?
It seemed like every pick from the 1st round all the way to when he got picked to the 5th, you were waiting to see if it might be him, and it seemed like it was never going to come. But the Browns are in a good spot for him. We could have seen him go in the 1st or 2nd round of the Browns. He ends up there anyway in the 5th. So I think of all the landing spots he could go to, that's probably pretty good for him.
Yeah, Jackson, well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. Brian, Jarrett, back to you guys.
Coming up on Focus on Sports, the NBA playoffs are more thrilling than they've ever been. But which California team is on the brink of elimination?
Plus a look at 3 California teams battling for the National League West. All that and more after the break.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to say.
Deep in my heart.
Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay.
I got that bulldog spirit.
Down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit.
Down in my toes. Hey.
Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Deep in my heart. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. All over me. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart.
The NBA playoffs have been nothing short of must-see TV, especially this past weekend. Starting things off down south, the Clippers fell just short of a Game 4 win after their huge comeback against the Nuggets. Aaron Gordon broke hearts of LA with this game-winning dunk on Saturday. Staying with the LA teams, the Lakers lost a close one Sunday afternoon. Anthony Edwards powered the T-Wolves past the Lakers with his 43-point performance. The Lakers are on the brink of elimination as they fall 3-1 on the series. The Warriors are back in action up north tonight as they look to take a commanding 3-1 lead over the Houston Rockets. They won Game 3 Saturday without Jimmy Butler. However, this morning it is confirmed that Jimmy Butler will be playing Game 4.
The San Francisco Giants have now taken the lead in the National League West. Over the last couple of weeks, the Giants, Dodgers, and even the Padres have been battling it out for the West. Last night, the Giants took a 3-2 win after this Little League walk-off from Gilberto Ramos. Somebody get me a juice box. And Uncrustable and the Los Angeles Dodgers are a half game behind after taking a 9-2 blowout against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Freddie Freeman brought in a couple of runs to get the Dodgers the lead. And finally, the Padres fell behind to the Tampa Bay Rays 4-2. They are a game and a half behind in the West.
Keeping it home, the Fresno Grizzlies are heading into Week 4 of the 2025 season. The Grizzlies have struggled over the season and especially this week against San Jose. They only won one game, which was on Tuesday, taking down the San Jose Giants 9-5. Fresno is in the basement of the North Division with a record of 8-13. The Grizzlies are back on the road this week as they take on the Visalia Rawhide.
And it's our favorite time of the show, the Jarrett, the pride of Lombard, California. Jarrett Smith, who is your top dog of the week?
Well, we're going to keep it on the diamond and go with Bobby Blandford. He had 6 hits over the series this weekend. Incredibly impressive production at the plate. and getting those runs on base is so important. How about you, Vincent?
Sticking with the draft, I have to go Magdalena. You know, if Coach Andy Reid is seeing something here, he was one of the most reliable sources of offense for the Bulldogs this past season. He deserves some recognition for that.
You know what? My top dog of the week, a guy who had 11 strikeouts on this afternoon, on Saturday rather. He was really good. Aiden Cremarosa, the pride of Burbank, California, Mountain West Conference pitcher of the week. Really good pitcher today. And that's our show, actually.
We'll be back next week for our last Focus on Sports for the spring semester. Also, do not forget to tune into our Instagram post-show live on our Instagram page this afternoon as well.
There'll also be more sports on our Wednesday's newscast with Valentina Sedania. We'll see you next week.